Hi everyone, my name is Itamar I'm a tour guide here in Israel, and today I wanted to visit Jerusalem with you using Simplex mapping solution and their amazing three-dimensional model. So we just finished the Jewish high holidays here in Israel, and I thought how nice it will be to visit Jerusalem and to walk in the footsteps of the ancient pilgrims back then. So let's land at the Mount of Olives. That's what you see over here. You can see the old city right in front of us, the Dome of the Rock here right in the middle, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and a few other buildings that I will refer to as we go. Back in the days, Jews that arrived to Jerusalem had to purify themselves before they moved on. So I took you down to the lowest part of ancient Jerusalem. You can see high up, the Dome of the Rock is kind of shown over here. But before people would go to the location of the temple, they had to go first to purify themselves in different ritual baths. We call it mikveh in Hebrew. And the biggest one was the Siloam pool that is just over here. We only have 10% of the original size of the pool. It was a huge pool, about 200 feet on 200 feet. And that's some of the stairs that you can see over there. So that's what we have right now. From here, there was a pilgrim's road that was taking the pilgrims all the way up to the temple. I'm talking about maybe 25 minutes walk up to the temple. Most of it now is underground and it's under a massive archaeological treatment. So from there, people would go up. As we go up in the city of David, I'll just say that there are some fantastic archaeological excavations that are taking place there since the 19th century, and they really exposed the Iron Age and Bronze Age Jerusalem. That's most of what you see over here, this massive wall, which is a retaining wall for some kind of a palace or some administration center over there. You can see different houses and rooms just over here in this part, etc., etc. So let's move on now with the pilgrims to what we call the Davidson Center for Archaeology. That's the southern part of the Temple Mount, this area that you see here. And you can also see the Western Wall just over here. This is the beginning of the Western Wall. And right here in this corner between the Western Wall and the Southern Wall, there was a market area. So if I'll zoom in and take the right angle, you'll be able to see the shops. So right over here, we receive these massive stones here. These are 4 shops in a row. That's what you see here. And against the Western Wall, you can actually see some other small walls. These are all shopping area. This is all shopping area. You can also see the pavement stones of what I would call Wall Street. Okay, so this is the marketplace where people would buy snacks and sodas and sacrifice as well to go up to the temple. So from here, they would go a little bit to the east with the southern wall, and they would get to what we call the southern steps. The southern steps are these stairs that you see in front of you. Okay, so let's take a look. This area over here, these steps, and over here too, these steps, these are all the remains of those stairs leading the pilgrims to the temple. So from here, people would go into a tunnel that now is blocked, a tunnel underground, and there was a staircase taking them to the temple area. Okay, so the next stop that we'll have is the court of the temple. The temple used to be over here. And during the celebration of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, I would say this was the celebration of monotheism of all mankind. Okay, so the purpose of Sukkot is really to bring about all the people of the earth, all the nation to Jerusalem. And this is written in the book of Zechariah, chapter 14. And there are 2 main sacrifices that were taking place in the temple back then. First, 70 bulls. 70 bulls were sacrificed over here, approximately this area. This is the location of the altar, for the sake of the 70 nations. So for their wealth, for their health, prosperity, fertility, whatever blessing is needed. That's the 70 bulls. Another thing that was sacrificed on the altar was water from the Siloam pool that we saw earlier to bring abundance and rain to the entire world. Rain and water is the source of life. And from Jerusalem during the celebration of Sukkot, the people in Jerusalem, the priests, were blessing the entire world. So really Jerusalem is the capital of monotheism, I would say, in the world. You can see the Muslim shrines over here, the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. This is, of course, an important Muslim prayer place. Not too far from it, you can see right over here in the northern end of the Temple Mount, you can see the first station of the Via Dolorosa. This is a school today, but the street that you see over here, this is actually the first few stops of the Via Dolorosa, the way of the cross of Jesus. And there are processions taking place every Friday by the Franciscan monks from here all the way to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Okay, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, I just remind you, is the holiest place for Christians around the world, the place where Jesus was crucified, buried, and ultimately raised from the dead. So this is the ancient tomb. Let's finish with the Western Wall. And I'll just say that every Friday, it's quite amazing to be in Jerusalem every Friday because you'll be able to see the Muslims praying on the Temple Mount around noontime, let's say around 12. Then there will be a procession of the Franciscans on the Via Dolorosa starting around 3 or 4 p.m. And then Jews will arrive to the Western Wall for the Jewish prayer of Shabbat around 5 or maybe 6 p.m. So within 5 or 6 hours, you can see all the children of Abraham celebrating side by side their faith. So I hope you enjoyed this tour, and I want to thank Simplex for enabling us to do so. So this is it. Thank you very much for listening.